Tatsuki Fujimoto, a legend in the modern manga industry, with popular works such as Chainsaw Man, Fire Punch, and Goodbye Eri, among many others. If you're an anime fan or a manga lover, you've definitely come by his works or at least heard of his name before. Even if you haven't read any of his novels before or watched any of his animes, many of his assistants and students have gone and make their own mark in the world too. And today, we're going to analyze some of his techniques and how his work is different from your conventional manga storytelling tropes. And at the end of this, we're going to try and draw our own manga that's highly inspired by his work. Okay, let's start. To be honest with you, his art is amazing, but it's not really the reason why I like his work. What makes his work stand out to me is the storytelling, which is an art form in and of itself. In Fire Punch, for example, there are scenes with absolutely no dialogue whatsoever, and he just lets the moment sit. He doesn't explain it to his readers or add any exposition or any explicit artwork to describe the scene for him. He trusts you, the audience, to be smart enough to understand what's going on. And it's not just Fire Punch, it's in all of his manga. This is the art of letting the moment sit, which I think is a lost art form. But in my opinion, to get to those moments, you need to earn it through storytelling and your art. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about his art for a little bit, okay? Because it is quite unique. There's something expressive about his work, almost sketch-like, but clean at the same time. The panels that stand out to me the most are his wide shots. So many wide shots, never a dull moment with this guy. His art style reminds me of that of Bleach's Tite Kubo and Slam Dunk's Takehiko Inoue, favoring a more realistic and stylistic facial structure than your typical anime face. He favors a narrower eye structure, for example, than the bubbly big ones that you see in some animes. Personally, I love this art style, and in my own manga, I try to do something like this too. Another thing that stands out to me is his poses. Super expressive, very animated, and sometimes exaggerated. In my opinion, he achieves this by expressing three things. First is the facial expression. They're very funny and a lot of times very relatable too. Next is the hands. The hands expresses just as much as the face. Then finally the pose. The pose is an expression in and of itself. And in a lot of his panels, he draws these actions mid-moment like this. Bonus note, there are actually a collection of references that he uses from classical paintings. I think it's genius. I should probably do something like this. His storytelling is a lot more liberal than most mangas that I've read. And what I mean by that is that he likes to take his time with small moments like this, and lets his readers read between the lines as to what the character is actually thinking without any dialogue. Most beginner mangakas are always taught not to waste any pages and make your story short, especially when it comes to a one-shot. And although that is still true, I think Fujimoto's storytelling is in a place where he can do both. He does this through the strategic use of panels, creating smaller panels like this in between larger ones. And he also likes to repeat panels like this to really showcase what the character is thinking about. These are unconventional techniques. And in some of his stories, he likes to take his time with world building and character development at the same time. It's not until well into the story of Fire Punch where the story really gets going. So let's do something like this, okay? Let's make a manga page with all of the qualities that we just learned so far. I'm gonna get into a montage. Skip to this timestamp to get to the tutorial. But if you're up for it, let's get into the montage. Alright, that took a lot, and at the beginning, I struggled to draw loosely outside of the sketch. It's just a habit that I've developed where my lines are a bit more cleaner and therefore a bit more rigid, while Fujimoto's drawings are a lot more relaxed. In fact, I found myself backtracking, erasing through my lines just to replace them with something that resembles a sketch. The second time around though was a bit more easier. I found that in a lot of his drawings, he draws his hatching lines like this. And so I tried to recreate that pattern into the wider parts of the drawing. I also tried recreating the repeating panels, but in my version, I tried zooming in a little bit so it's a bit different. Copy and pasting my original drawing and then enlarging it like this, and then just retracing the drawing all over again. It wasn't until the third try on my third page where I think I got the hang of it, creating this really nice and loose zoom in for my character Aki. I really like this. Lastly, I added very minimal dialogue to my pages and just let the moment read for itself. Studying Fujimoto, creating these pages taught me to be a bit more creative and a bit more relaxed with the rules of manga. It taught me to just let the moment sit and draw smaller moments if it's important enough. Not to mention to let your drawings be a bit more relaxed. That part I really struggled the most. Anyways, that's it for me guys. I hope you found this video informative, and if you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe, and as always, bye-bye you!